Testing. Oh no. Wrong frame. Oops. It's okay. It looks like it's working. Everything's working. Let's get started. For some reason I was in the wrong frame though when I started, which is lame. How's everyone doing today? Perfect. We're off to a good start then. I was over here adjusting my water bottle and I look up and it realized it was in the wrong scene. And I was like, oh, I'm live. Cool. I must have hit a hotkey or something and not realized it. My stream deck has all these buttons on it. If I hit it, it'll jump scenes and whatnot. How was everyone's weekend? Hope you had fun. An enjoyable or, relaxing weekend. Nice little reprieve from your weekly duties. I do want to say welcome back, one and all, to the weekly office hours stream. This is our Monday stream. We host it every Monday without fail, rain or snow. Pretty much the only exception being if I'm like sick or some kind of cataclysm. So I appreciate you all being here today as we get started, and we will be kind of having people file in over the next few minutes. Today's stream will be focusing on a map we've been building for a couple months now for about an hour a week. Hour and a half tops, but it is a massive cemetery complex. 82 by 82. The entire build is built off the grid, perpendicular to the grid, so it's been kind of a challenge. As you can see, there's this massive road up the center. I drew that by hand. Got an entry point, parking, a big cathedral with a 3-story bell tower, beautiful garden attached to it with a pathway to walk around, statues, trees, all sorts of beautiful plant life, and of course, just a nice view. This leads into the back area of the cathedral's kind of personal plots for their, varied members or paladins, clerics, clergy members, priests, etc. Over here, we have another kind of private plot for a more, well-to-do, rich family type situation. Here we have some more standard plots. Currently, what we're working on is over here. This is a new section. We started working on it, not last stream, but stream before last. It is a new addition for the caretaker of this massive property. This build here is intended to be his home, his cottage, his reprieve from, the various duties he has, but also a space to house his tools and equipment and other stuff too. So I'm still kind of debating how to use this space, as there's a lot of work left to be done. I still want to do some stuff in the house to kind of make it feel more lived in, more rugs, more, stuff, more lighting. I noticed the kitchen feels really dark at night, so I might want to put some lights here. By the way, I'm open to suggestions on this. And for those just tuning in, I just want to say welcome. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, the app you see in front of you. So if you have any questions related to it, let me know and I will do my best to address them or provide you assistance. How you doing, Mondu? Atlam, how are you as well? Let me sip some water. I am going to have a shed out here. Well, I have a shed, and this will have various, tools and whatnot. Thinking of filling it with garden tools, and then if I move it to the side, I can even use this space for something. And then was going to stack up dirt or various pots, the little ceramic pots for like, plants before you plant them into the ground. Or for, his own garden. I was thinking of putting like a garden space right here, but it seems really close to the death. Maybe like a little plot right here. I don't know. I'm trying to decide how to use the space. What are you talking about, Mondu? Last week we added this little laundry piece, this pie on the window. There's like a little laundry washing station, some logs for his fire. Trying to figure out how to decorate the front space, and I was thinking of putting like little stepping stones, like pavers. Hey, Eric. Hey, I do want to say again, if I could have sworn I said it last night, but thank you so much, dude. The session was fantastic. Appreciate it. It was absolute banger of a session of D&D, so I appreciate it. Yeah, the group does appear to be having the fun. um the yes, we got out. We got out, Mondu. We are out. Well, for the time being, we're still on the lam, let's just say that, but we've made some contacts. I was going to give you all a kind of a synopsis of what happened last night, but we were going to get into it in a bit. However, if anyone wants to know, let me know. We can dive into it now. I think our escape was pretty clean, I'm not going to lie. Like, that courtyard encounter could have gone really bad, and it went really, really good. Because we basically were pitted up against 2 ogres and 3 dire wolves, and the previous ogres we'd encountered had pretty much just like were one-hitting any of the prisoners that we had freed, and were just turning them into paste. And they were, when they hit us, they were like taking away half of our HP, or if they critted, it was like very bad. So basically, like I have a cat fur on my eye, sorry. The strategy was to try and spy on them a little bit, which I used my owl familiar to get like the lay of the land. I used minor illusion to show everyone what there was. And then we used that information to try and initiate a surprise round. We all did stealth checks, and we put the stealthiest people in front. We pushed out and attacked the ogre with like a really heavy opening salvo. And in the first round of surprise, it was down to like 8 HP. We just crushed it. So everyone focused fire on one target, and as they all aggroed on us with initiative, the wolves closed in on us. And then the melee guys took they took the front and protected everyone from the wolves, while the ranged, spellcasters just unloaded on the ogres. Kim Sorensen on Facebook asks, when are y'all getting multi-level? That's a really good question. We're actually adding it in Q2 of this year. Our next update, Fun with Objects, will add multi-level. In fact, if y'all would like to see a little teaser of it... Uh-oh. File Explorer is crashing. Okay. That's not good. Let's see here. Let me find a teaser. So I have not been able to play with the Fun with Objects update for 2 weeks now. My build is scuffed at the moment. My beta build is not working. So I cannot like record anything or do anything or even test it. I did not break it. It just kind of broke in an overnight patch. But here's an example of some of the stuff that we do that has been shared, so you can check it out. Anyway, back to kind of talking about... Gosh, there is definitely a fur on my eye. I can see it. Oh, there it is. Got it. So, I mean, here you see a negative, multi-level. So, like a pub with a balcony with the, everything below. In my mind, it would also be pretty cool to have some like rooms around the outside edge here, like in rooms, so the rooms kind of lead out to this balcony. That to me is the like epitome of like a that kind of like a tavern or inn setup. So Anita, there's a cat fur right here in the corner of my eye, and I keep seeing it. I thought I got it. It's I'm just gonna ignore it because there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, there it is. This is insane. So my cat came in when I was setting up for stream and was snuggling me like a lot. He is a cutie, but he's a Maine Coon. He has tons of fur, gets all over, and as a result, it's like all over my eye. So in this clip, you can see a lot of different things in our next update. First off, this new room type, which is called Wonky. It's like Wonky Tavern. It's essentially just like scrap wood. You could do it for like a kobold or a goblin tavern, or just kind of like a plate. It could be in the slums or any number of places. Am I drinking Tang? No, this is it's just some like V8 Splash, but I've been mixing a protein kind of mix with it for my early morning, kind of after my early morning workouts. So I've been trying to work out going into the new year, and I suck at it. I have only done it like a handful of times because it wrecks me, but it's okay. Anyway, you see over here, there's like tally marks, right? There's like a water like spill here. There's like a pock mark of an explosion or some kind of fire. Young Bluth, yeah, this is all information from our next update, which is slated to launch in Q2. So it'll be launching, reasonably soon in the next few months. If you look down here on this bottom floor, here's like a little paper on the floor, something that fell, there's a scratch mark. These little things that I was just showing you, the water, the pock mark, all that stuff, is part of a new feature called the decal tool. New tool that'll be added into the left toolbar. Oops. And this tool will allow you to kind of add images and abstract information to your environments and make them more unique and kind of interesting. There's all sorts of stuff in this clip if you pay attention. Also, look at this hatch right here. So you can actually go underground now and go like basements and build below and above. You can have multiple levels up and multiple levels down. I think they're going to have about 10 levels total, so 5 and 5, up 5, down 5. Maybe if you only go up, you could do 10. I don't know. Like 10 upward. Sounds crazy either way. Let me show you a few examples of these decals. So kind of back to our session last night, we essentially just shredded Ogre 1, started focusing fire on Ogre 2 with just casters and our range people, while our melee people kind of put themselves in a position to defend us from the wolves, and they pick them apart one at a time. We were able to basically make short work of the entire encounter in just like, I don't know, it seemed like it was only like 2.5 rounds tops. We then pushed over to a door, which was steel. We had a key for it, but we decided to listen behind the door first, and we heard someone talking. Sounded like they were talking to their pets. And so everywhere we'd been, there'd been like dogs, so we assumed there was more dogs or wolves. So I had some Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments. They finally got to be used. There was a gate near us. It was like a chain link fence. And I used the pigments to draw cracks on all the links in like an arch. And then we pushed it down. Kind of like if you clipped it with like wire cutters or something. And then it fell down. We pushed through the gate and then found another door kind of below that area. Listened to it, but they sounded further away. So we felt like we had an advantage. Guess what? We did. We used that to our advantage, and there was a tiefling in there. She was a little intense. And oh, by the way, these like marks, that's the same marks that was in the bar, but here in, a prisoner cell. It looks really good, doesn't it? Here's another example of the decal tool. Where is it? Here. It's a moss. By the way, this is early, like, alpha of the decal tool. It's getting better constantly. It actually is much better. Oh, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce your name there in YouTube, but I appreciate the kind words all the same. Here's another example of the decal tool, so you can do a light frosting of snow and add snow to things, so it may have looked like it melted. Here in this case, it seems like snow was inside. This is just a funny, silly example, of course. Let's show some more multi-level. Oops. It is a lot of fun. Eric's been crafting a kind of a fun adventure for us. So we're in this kind of like tight hallway at like this steel door. And by the way, in this prison, I forgot to kind of mention everything's kind of giant scale. First off, I am a halfling, so everything's kind of big for me. But everything is meant to be like for ogres to use, like the keys. So the keys are like 2.5, 3 feet tall. Every time we find one, it's comically funny. I'm like a kid carrying like a huge, heavy thing that I shouldn't be carrying. So I have to ask the other teammates to carry it and open the doors for me and stuff. So we open this steel door. It triggers combat, but at least we have some distance on this lady. We're able to, in like the first opening salvo, take out one of her pets, which triggers her anger. I believe she had enlarge reduce. I don't know. Eric can confirm at this point if he wants. But she got enraged and enlarged. She was bigger all of a sudden. Starts running at us, threatening to punish us. And basically, our frontliners kept her at bay while everyone kind of picked her apart. A legendary trigger. Yeah, she had legendary actions plus 3 attacks. So she was like dropping 6 actions around. It was insane. Just kind of putting it into perspective. But she was missing a lot. We got really lucky, I guess. I don't know. We were insanely lucky with the dice rolls in this encounter. And she had low AC, and we were able to put her down really quick. And essentially, the encounter went really smooth, the second encounter. At this point, we got a key off of her, which allowed us to escape the main prison section. And there was like a portcullis and a drawbridge section that crossed a moat. They hit us a few times. She got a good hit in when she did that, what was it? The flame attack? Sorry, I can't remember the spell. She did a huge salvo flame attack on like a huge group of people, burning hands in a cone. But the one person it did huge damage to, was fire resistant. So you should have heard the defeat in Eric's voice. He's like, oh, they hit you for 16 points of damage. And my wife was like, but I'm fire resistant. He's like, well, then it hits you for 8 points of damage. It was funny. We all just laughed. But anyway, we did really good. We were all backing each other up, making sure people weren't getting hit hard when it was bad. Like our casters were getting protected by shield and silvery barbs, and Anyway, it was hilarious. The encounter went really well. We got the best of this lady, got the key off of her, opened the door. The tiefling and I flew up, raised the portcullis, because she could just like pick me up and carry me like I don't even exist, basically. And raised the portcullis. Everyone started coming through. As soon as they crossed the bridge, a bunch of alligators spring out of the water and attack them, or crocodiles or whatever. It was like everywhere you went, something was attacking you here. And so I'm assuming you had to make like a call or a passcode or something to not trigger them. I don't know. But anyway, we aced 4 of them, and then we approached the final door to escape. And at this door, there was, we could see a door in front of us, but there was like windows to the side, and in those windows was a ton of ogres, like a massive amount of ogres. Like they were kind of spread out like every 20 feet or so, like maybe 12 of them covering the escape of this prison. And they'd been kind of pretty hard to kill already, so it was kind of terrifying. My son pipes up and he goes, I don't want to do this, but I will. He's been hiding from the group the whole time he's a changeling. So he uses his changeling ability to shapeshift into the tiefling woman who we just defeated. Uses her mannerisms, voice, and he has absolutely ridiculous charisma scores. So he pushed through the door with us as prisoners. We had our bindings, false bindings, and he convinced the guards, there was a dragonborn guard on the other side, and all these ogres, to just let us walk by. It was great. We walked out the final encounter of the prison. Just slid right through it. So it was, it could have been a crazy battle or chase scene because it was like at the edge of a city that we were getting into, a big giant city. Not giant like as in a huge city, but it's a city for giants. So I guess it's big in that aspect too, but it's a city full of giants. So we could have been chased all over the city, I guess, but it wouldn't have gone well because they would outrun us quickly. So yeah, we walked right out. Our rogue says, hey, I'm gonna do something. He leaves some chalk thieves' cant on a wall for his contact, a contact in the city, to find him and come talk to him. We go hide out at a local inn. We get a room. We hang out at the tavern. His contact shows up. Oh, by the way, more about the room. We were shown the room, and I was like, hey, can I investigate the room to see if I can find anything of use? Maybe people left behind or items in the room that we can use to help ourselves, because we might be a little short-handed on objects and stuff because we just escaped the prison. And I got a 31. I got a nat 20 plus 7 plus a 4 from guidance, like an absolute perfect roll. 31. And I'm pilfering through the room, finding a bunch of stuff that's not really impressive. I found some candles and some feathers and some books. And I find this dagger, an inauspicious dagger, which at the glance, I just thought it was just like a dagger. And I was like, oh, cool, our rogue could use this. And I just hand it to the rogue. Just hand it to him offhand. And then Eric's like, hey, wait, let me show you what the dagger looks like. Shows this amazing picture of a dagger. It looks like beautiful. And I was like, ooh, okay. Can I identify it? Anyway, so I identify the dagger, and it ends up being this really awesome dagger. And I think, you know what? Our rogue could use this. So either way, it was a perfect instinct of me to hand it to the rogue, but we end up giving it to the rogue, and it's a sentient dagger with like a personality in it. And the personality can like read magical text, and it also, the dagger can teleport you if you throw it. It takes away 1 HP, but you can go up to like 60 feet or something. It's really cool. Oh yeah, and we also stole the flail off the tiefling lady and gave that to our paladin. So we got a couple cool items in yesterday's session. But the entire game was it was just funny, and various aspects of the session were, let's just say, interesting. Our rogue really came in clutch with his contacts and got us to see the person we needed to see to essentially escape the city or get our revenge, which we're kind of propped up for the next session, because we were all kind of put in jail wrongly by pretty much the same person. So we are ready to get our revenge. Well, my identify didn't see anything untoward about the dagger, and the dagger is interesting because the dagger actually likes me. We're friends already, at least in my mind. It's talking to me and was friendly with me. And it doesn't require attunement, so other people can hold it and talk to it. It seems like a nice little piece of equipment to add to the party. Oh, thank you. See if I can get that to work. Yep. I mean, I don't mind. I'm cool with it. It's just fun flavor in the campaign. You know what I mean? But if you look at this image of the dagger, it's pretty cool looking. And I feel like our rogue, it could fit really well with their character. Like, every time they were killing someone, they were bleeding, like, red out of their eyes for some reason. So, like, bleeding blood out of their eyes, I guess. Or leaking red out of their eyes. So, Lady in Red dagger suits, like, kind of thematically. And then all the stuff it does is pretty cool, too. Anyway, so session was quite a blast. I don't mean to talk about my session all day, so let's get a building. But Eric, thank you so much. Absolutely fun. But yeah, we kicked butt, took names, we leveled up. I'm going to be thinking about which spells I want throughout the month. Which is going to be a pain because I have no idea what I'm going to pick. I am so indecisive. I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be web. Let's see here. I'm going to go into... Let's go to structural. We're going to ruins because there's these neat little stones. And these kind of act like pavers. You can kind of size it up. Turn off collisions. That bad boy in. Maybe a little. So we could put them like this, right? They kind of interlock. Or seem like alternating. Oh my gosh, my TikTok feed has not been refreshing. Here, let me refresh it. Sorry, I did not see that. I'm gonna refresh that. Like, I have not had any chat come through there, so I'd... Hey, Kowser, sorry, my bad. I did not see your chat, and I feel so bad. I am wonderful, thank you for asking. Honestly, my TikTok stream feed was crashed or something. So, again, my sincerest apologies. Whoa. How is it like sunk under right here? This should all be flat. I'm so confused. Y'all seeing this? Okay, let's take a look at this terrain because something's up. Oh, that's not room height. Okay. Is this not all flat? Well, we're fixing it. Hey, thank you for the likes, Kowser. Appreciate it. Sorry, I know this is a weird low view, but I'm like trying to make sure everything's level. For some reason, it was not working. Alternatively, I could just use these ones, which are nicer. They're like not broken. And we could stretch it out like this, right? And And then sink it down. Something like that. And we can alternate them like this. Kind of have them going towards the gate and like a slow curve. In fact, I'll probably want to turn toward it and like right out the gate. This slow rotation. It's very subtle. Oh, thank you, Kowser. Appreciate it. We're going to be doing little subtle like adjustments, and then rotating each stone kind of contrasted to each other. And we're already kind of slowly turning towards that. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have it kind of meet up to maybe kind of S curve this way. So it'll go like that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but we'll make it work. Eric, are you still here? Quick question for you, if you are. So I just know. I'm assuming since we leveled up, it's a safe assumption we got a long rest. Like, thematically, there was nowhere for it to fit in. Like, we didn't get to a point where we had a chance to do so. We've been constantly on the run. Just like this. This is looking really good. Really good. Hey, Valari, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. First off, I appreciate the kind words. As a small indie team, we're only 10 people on the team. Nice feedback like that really means the world to us. And we also appreciate, feedback and suggestions and insights about problems or things you want improved. So while you're here, if you have any suggestions, feedback, questions, consider the stream AMA format. Feel free to let us know if you're if you have any problems or need any assistance or guidance. You actually do? Well, perfect place to drop in. How can I help? See, this is the exact place you want to be. I want to make it daytime while we're laying these stones. It is lowering at night. Little rotation. This is definitely S-curving the way I want it to. And what I think I'll do is I'll have a path go off this way and maybe one come off this way. So it's like you can get to the various aspects of his yard. Okay, so I'm like laser focused on getting these kind of aligned to essentially follow what will be a slight S. Might need to start curving just the littlest bit more. So how was everyone's week? Or weekend, I should say. Did any of you get any sessions in? I'd like to hear about it. And if not, let's hear about what you've done session prep-wise. Have you been working on stuff for your players for your next session? What is it? Let's hear about it. Map-wise, encounters. Or if you did get to play this weekend, what kind of shenanigans did your players get into? Hey, D&D Play. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Volari, maybe it's not on your roadmap at all, but I'm thinking to start D&D stream in Taiwan. If your builder supports traditional Chinese users, it will be helpful. Are you looking for localization, like better language support? Is that what you're looking for? Something like that, Volari? So, like if this was translated and shown in your language. Okay, just wanted to clarify. So, at some point down the road, we do very much plan to add localization support for at least a few languages. What languages remains to be determined at this point. The reason we're waiting is we are in early access. I'm sure a lot of you know this, and many of you may not, because Dungeon Alchemist runs pretty smooth and, you know, is pretty fluid and has a lot of features. So a lot of people think it's like a fully launched program, while it is still very much in early access. We are in a constant kind of state of flux. The program changes a lot. Things are constantly being removed or adjusted, or, you know, the roadmap slightly changes, and we add things we didn't anticipate. And as a result, it would be, with a team as small as ours, you know, 10 people, and our limited resources, time, you know, financial resources, etc., it would be very difficult for us to constantly update all the localization around all these changes. So what we have opted to do is, once we leave early access and have gotten to a very stable final or more final release, we will start adding localization for most major languages. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And you're welcome to continue hanging out and ask questions and learn with us while you're here. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer right away. And to be honest with you, I have pushed, you know, on the back end for localization for some time now. I would like to at least add like an automated localization to just get our, you know, get us out the door, and then we can get feedback from our community if there's problems or things that don't make sense. You know, either through, you know, like volunteer feedback, or like through a reporting system or something like that. And I know we definitely will do it with time. Just the time when it is remains to be seen. You know what I mean? Let's see here. So what did everyone say? Working on a next one shot in my Rift campaign. Big damn map of a standard dungeon crawl. Currently populating it with Michelle's creatures. Nice. Very cool. You'll have to let me take a peek when it's done. So I got to start curving this way. So this part's going to be a little tricky. So pretty much every rock, I want to add just a slight nudge in the other direction. And like a slight twist, right? Not too much, but enough. And if it's just moved over the littlest bit as you head this direction, you're bound to get, you know, the right path. And I know this is a lot of work, but I love this little bits like this. This is my favorite part of Dungeon Alchemist, is all the fine work. Mosey Poe, you got session 0 today? Awesome! That is so cool. I'm so excited for you. Oh my, well, that's awesome, Valari. Well, welcome to the community. Have you tried out our demo? Gotcha. Ah, gotcha. Cool. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I need to bring these just the littlest bit this way. We're getting the curve we need, though. But yeah, if you hop in our Discord, it's a great place to go. First off, we have channels dedicated to support and questions. There's channels dedicated to hanging out with like-minded GMs and bouncing ideas off of each other. So if you're setting up for a campaign, you can be like, hey, I have this idea for an encounter or a stat block or a map. What do you guys think about this? And typically 5 to 10 GMs will jump in and start giving you ideas and feedback and suggestions. It's really good to bounce ideas off of other people when you kind of are unsure of how to proceed. No obligation to join, but if you do, it will definitely help you along your journey with your map making. Because you can ask questions pretty much any time of the day, and either myself or another staff member or a moderator or a community member will likely jump in and offer assistance. Such a great group of people. The best damn community in the world, as I like to say. This is almost perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, when you look at it from this angle, it is stunning. Would you look at this? See, it's really starting to pay off as you see it in this, like, grander scheme. Oh my gosh, Mondu, you know, I saw your post saying your session was cursed or something, and I didn't want to pile on. I felt bad. I really, like, that would break my heart if that happened to me, so I get it. Okay, so we need to have one that's like turned pretty much like this, right? That's kind of our entry point. Maybe even a few of them along. This is the boundary of the property. I mean, if it's no fault of their own, it's nice to cancel. I think that's a really nice thing to do as a DM, because it's not like that player's late or being a problem player. A power outage is nothing they can control. Oh, so your session, Mosey, is kind of like a West Marches type sitch? Let's see here. D&D Play 20 Lost is about 5 people who are pulled from a world of fantasy. They're slowly transforming into creatures of the realm. Players draw a card to determine what race and class they will become over time. That's interesting. Interesting. So, drawn into a world of, is it like what do they call that? In the manga world, like an isekai or something like that? Is that what you're going for with that? D&D play? Honestly, West Marches sounds so fun, but also kind of impersonal to a degree. I don't know. That's just like one of those things I could never really. I would hate playing with a group of people that like barely know each other. I'm not against like other styles of games, don't get me wrong. Like, or formats, you know? I think I'm gonna make these just slightly bigger. Looks pretty good. Let's take a token through and see what it looks like. They call it Scranton. What? The Electric City. Scranton. What? The Electric City. Right? It doesn't seem like its eyes are right. I'm going to shrink it down. This is my voice. Winter maps are awesome in DA for sure, Mosey. So is it a West Marches D&D 5e server? Rev, that's a good question. Honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about Linux or if that's being worked on or fixed in the background. So I couldn't even speculate, but I could ask for you next time I talk to the devs. Like, I wish I knew more, my friend, and I wish I could help. I just am completely useless when it comes to that, with Linux at least. But what I will say is, if you could DM me like a detail of every problem you're having with it, and like a great detail, I will address it. I'm assuming it's just lacking the feature. It's not a bugged out feature, correct? So there's a 5e like supplement that is essentially like Hogwarts and D&D. What is it called? Hmm. Gosh, I'm having trouble remembering. Strixhaven, that's the one. Please do. The more details, the better, because I want to help you, my friend, and try and get this sorted. I honestly, I feel bad that I have a lacking when it comes to, at least Linux. It is a bit of a blind spot for me, so I'm sorry that I'm not the best. You know how to talk to the devs. I know, but if I put my stamp on it and hand it to them, or you mean you know how to talk to devs? Got you. Got you. Got you. Misunderstood you there. Strixhaven is awesome because there's separate schools. There's a school with the separate houses. There's like Quandrix, Prismari, Lore Holder is one. There's a bunch of different schools, and then they get bonus spells and supplemental like half feats and stuff like that. So does that look okay? I feel like I pulled that off. Like, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I'm impressed. Even if you're not, I am. And so what I'm thinking is we can then take an offshoot of this. OCD approved. Correct. Plus, Broom of Flying is a really amazing, uncommon magical weapon that doesn't require attunement. In my opinion, it is the best uncommon and pretty much one of the best magical items in all of 5e. It is fun thematically, it can do a bunch of stuff, and just having a Broom of Flying is heckin' cool. I enjoy being witchy from time to time, you know? Any chance I can in a campaign, I get myself a broom of flying. Basically, I have 2 items on my wish list for almost any campaign. If there's a DM listening. Broom of flying, obviously. And all-purpose tool. All-purpose tool is one of my favorite magical items. It's such a silly item, but it's so cool. It is a... I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's essentially a sonic screwdriver. And it is a item that can turn into any tool with an action. And when it turns into the tool set or tools, you immediately have the proficiency with it. So you can change your tool proficiencies like this based on the situation with an action. And it's a +1 casting or more, so it can do +2 or +3, uncommon, rare, you know, whatever. Lastly, for 8 hours a day, so pretty much any session you play, you can cast a cantrip from any caster spell list as if it was your own. So, like, I mean, I could be Eldritch Blasting, or, I mean, I could be... anyway, it's just nice to have the ability to kind of change your cantrip at will on the fly for, like, a very specific need. So I'd just kind of keep that in my back pocket until I need it. Because there's a lot of cantrips that are, like, utility-based that would be nice to have on the fly. That just I don't really want to keep in my rotation. So I'm going to keep this going in this direction. And then it's going to kind of come over here. And then I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of have a straight path along this where all this is. Or just kind of have it loop around his home here. Still deciding if I want this to be the laundry or not. Because we could put it all around in different places behind the house. Or like over here somewhere where it's like more private. Kind of trying to decide, but at least I have the items and the layout. Yep, we are back in the graveyard, cartographer. Right now we're working on actually the caretaker's cottage and property. So we're kind of pushing through this right now. There's a little bit of tedium here, so I'm sorry. It's a bit boring, but I'm trying to decide the layout as I go. I like to look at it and kind of make a decision. Thinking of adding hedges or a bush here, a shrub or something to kind of give him more privacy. That and my brain jumps around like all over when I build. I don't know if y'all do the same thing or if it's just me, but in the middle of a build, I get super distracted constantly and go like, oh, I can't focus on this anymore. So I do a different part. Or, you know what I mean? Like I continually kind of shift gears and work on different things. Yes. I will say pretty much anyone who streams probably kind of suffers from the same thing. I've coined the term streamer brain. Are these hedges? Nah, they're not as good as I'm thinking because they're kind of like hollow on the bottom. That ain't working. Wonder if we like supplemented them. Let's see if there's another plant in here I like. Atlam, you know, you're super smart, bro. Has anyone ever told you that? Ladies, he's most likely handsome, too. Handy and handsome. So, yeah, session yesterday, absolute raging success. Just absolutely happy that we leveled up, escaped from prison. We're still on the run, but because our rogue drew in some contacts through his, shady means, we were able to kind of get out of plain sight and go to what is essentially a safe house for the time being and meet with a contact who will set us up for our next stages of our campaign. I will still very much love the report because I like to pass that on to the devs regardless. If they know already, good. If not, it's more data for them. Or, I mean, if they don't, that'll help. If not, I mean, like, it's still more data. It's always helpful. That is bleeding through that side too much. Pull this here. There. Here. Hmm. Asmodeus, bro, I see you lurking. How you doing, brother? I'm gonna call you out. So, may I suggest here, Rev? Are you just trying to use the in-game recording and it's struggling? Wait, what did I do? I don't even know anymore, Mondu. It got me psyched out. If it were me in your situation, Rev, I would use a... I'll call out a lurker all the time. I like doing it. It's funny. Especially the ones that I do. I'm not going to call out, like, ones that only lurk, but Asmodeus needs to be called out. He's hiding. Needs to be called out. Hardly a lurker when he's a moderator. Anyway. Kind of back to that point I was making before. If you go into this view tab, you can hide the UI, right? And when you hide the UI, Rev, oh no, Dyson, I hope you find the campaign notes. Should we worry that 5 campaigns a week might be catching up to you? What's wrong with Windows 95? It's amazing. Okay, so when you have no UI like this, right? Save this mouse, right? Let me hide that. You could, in essence, screen record, right? Without a UI, using a third-party screen recording tool, such as like OBS. I don't know if OBS is Linux compatible, but it would make sense because OBS is pretty cool. Or any screen recording tool for that matter. That is honestly my preferred. You're talking to someone who records a lot and shares a lot of content in DA. I hardly ever use the cinematic camera unless I have to. The only time I use the cinematic camera is to get down really low with shots like this that are up towards the sky. The reason I say that is it's personal preference. Okay, this isn't a matter of, professional opinion or anything like that, but I don't like this UI interface, right? And I wish I could hide it in this mode and have free range of the camera and then screen cap with whatever tool I want. because then I'd have a higher frame rate, I'd have higher bit rate, I'd have more options as a content creator, which somebody who's recording content wants those options. Oh man, controller support. Oh, that would be so cool. I mean, honestly, we could probably just start adding controller profiles through Steam Big Picture. It'd be pretty fun. If anyone would like to try, I would love to see some Xbox controller or PlayStation controller profiles. Dyson, hey, if you want to start a 6, let's talk. I've got 3 players for you. I'm just kidding. Our current session is only once a month, and while I love the group we're playing with, I just wish we could play more. But that's just, like, it's hard to get this group of people together much more than that. So we have, 20, 30 days between sessions, and it gets lonely. Oh, I mean, when you go into cinematic mode, you're essentially running 2 instances of DA. It'd be no different than running OBS and DA. When you are in cinematic mode, you're literally in a separate application watching your instance of DA. How the devs explained it to me, it's like you're loading it twice. That's why you get the big frame drop and there's limited options. One Waterdeep, man. Ooh, Waterdeep would be cool. Curse of Strahd, I don't know what it is about it. I've heard it is just... I hear mixed things, but from what I understand, a lot of people find it depressing. It ends up being kind of... like, overwhelming over time. I'm gonna call her out then. Aunt, you didn't say hi? What the heck? What's the deal? Thought we were friends. Thought we were crib mates. Thought we were damn friends. If you talk as Strahd like Liam Neeson from Dracula Dead and Loving It, then yes. It could be very funny. Trying to decide what to do with this next set of pavers. I kind of am not liking it. I think I should have curved it from here and kept it along the house. Watch Mac as he gets nothing done. Low enough? Might even need to be a bit lower. Irritating. Gosh, there's a jet flying over my house right now. It's so loud. I saw you've been continuing that. Your X one was very impressive, can I just say? I thought it was really cool. Hey, Atlan, is Steam working for you right now? Oh, it is. Okay, I just refreshed. It was working for me after that. By the way, I just want to point out throughout the stream, if any of you have any questions on any platform, let me know. We are multi-streaming to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Steam simultaneously. And if I am, like I said, monitoring all those different chats. So if you have any questions, concerns, feedback, suggestions, let us know in chat and we will do our best to address them. Well, I will. I guess I shouldn't talk as if I'm a host of people. By we, I mean me, the community, my mods, etc. Steam is a little funky today. I have already refreshed it like 3 times. But Steam viewers, I appreciate you being here, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Don't wait another day. Your map-making dreams will come true if you just drop an askaroo. That was a sweet little limerick. So I was thinking of drawing like a path around the side of the house that's like stone. But now that I'm seeing these pavers, I like them so much more. Anita, what do you mean by that? Can I deliver some time? Can I deliver some time to do this? Are you wondering when the next update will be out, or I'm confused now? I want to make sure I answer your question correctly. Or your concerns, I should say. Oh, okay, Anita. I was so confused. Thank you. You got me good. No, no worries. No worries. I honestly was more confused than anything, and I think that's kind of the best part of a good joke is really getting someone confused. So don't worry about it. You got me. Yeah, I'm adding some privacy barrier right now. That's kind of what I'm doing now. A little bit of that. You know what I mean? I could kind of mix some trees in. You're asking a question about Forge? I may not be able to help with that. Forge is pretty cool, though. It's a neat little tool, isn't it? You deleted everything. Oh no. Well, I mean, you could still post it in like the Forge Discord or something. They're nice people. So, Mosey, I think we kind of locked in a day for nighttime streams. I'm gonna probably start doing Friday nights, like every week, or maybe every other week. We'll test pilot it and see how it goes, you know. But I know you were interested in getting a more late night time slot for the stream. If we do this, it would be, I'm thinking around probably around midnight on Friday night. So it would essentially be Saturday morning for me. Most people would be early Saturday morning for them if they're in the like European kind of area. Or maybe a little bit earlier than that, like 10 p.m. for me going into midnight for me Friday night. So it would end Saturday morning. For me right now, it's 10:12 a.m. I'm based in Las Vegas, so I'm in Pacific time zone myself. That being said, though, I'm one of the only team members in that kind of situation. The rest of our entire team is based in Belgium. For pretty much the most part, everyone is. So I am the exception. $1,900 for you? Dang. So 7 p.m. What? An American that knows a 24-hour clock? Get out of town. I also know what ananas are. They're bananas without the B. So if that happens, it'd be about a 2-hour stream. And don't tell me what I did. I don't see any resize. Oh, that one is it. You're right. That's Belgian time? Yeah, so what, UTC? See, I kind of have to know that stuff. I know how to. I am the first. I'm definitely a humble person. I know how to admit when I'm wrong. Like if I make a major mistake, I'm gonna own up to it. I think that's a big problem with society nowadays. Is people are too proud to admit when they're wrong. You're in Greenwich? Okay, cool. Greenwich, GMT. Greenwich Mean Time. Like, I think the world would be a lot better off if people just learned to admit when they were wrong or when they learned something new. Like, that's part of the human experience. Like, you learn new things all the time. And, like, you should be able to grow and learn, right? I mean, what's a big part of this stream is learning and growing, right? As map makers. So I think in life, it's a great principle personally that if you make a mistake, own up to it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You learn from it. You become a better, more like emboldened person who, it can succeed at life in the future because you learned. That's a great like mentality to live by. Like, yeah, being wrong just means you get to learn. And honestly, like, I don't get to learn as much as I did when I was a kid. I feel like I used to be so inquisitive and want to read all the time and ask questions and, like, just constantly getting new information and downloading from the world around me. I'm not saying I'm a robot, but anyway, uh, I guess what I'm getting at is I do love the opportunity to learn when possible. Heck, my son taught me last night that he is smooth. He was able to get us out of a prison just by talking us out in D&D. So I mean, obviously he had a really good role, but there was no way any of us could have assisted him, and he did a really good job. It was either that or a massive fight. On your VPN was blocked. I'm pretty sure just Rev told you how you've been officially shunned by the stream. I'm just kidding. I understand. It's no biggie. Hope you're well. Anyway, I'm just kidding. No. So I'm doing pavers right now, and I'm like just killing it. Really? Why are you guys on a VPN? I mean, do you consider this stream to be untoward? You have to hide it? Mozilla doesn't like Twitch? What? Lame. So I'm kind of thinking of putting like a cool plant back here with like pavers going around it. His like his own like personal, like his private little, it's his pride and joy plant. Like Mr. Wilson or something. I don't know if y'all ever watched Dennis the Menace growing up in the 90s. Well, I was a kid in the 90s, so I watched it, but I don't know if you watched it since then. It was pretty funny. But he had this, there's, Dennis the Menace is like an iconic comic. It's been tons of TV shows and movies over the years. He does have like his little like here are his mandrakes, his mandrake collection. I'm planning to add a garden for sure of some sort, but more right now I'm mapping out the property, which has kind of been the priority. Because I like made the house and started putting stuff in it, but then I was like, man, I want more, I am really enjoying the pavers at the moment, but I'm also getting bored of them. That's me, losing my mind doing the same thing over and over again. When I'm thinking of a plant, though, something cool for his yard, I was thinking eye trap. We could put it in like a planter back here, like his own. Like he'll have in a series of interesting plants. Bro, your Oasis map was awesome. I was sad you weren't there to hear the compliments. I really enjoyed the layout. Yeah, my players would ask about this too. A flesh-eating plant, not a man-eating plant. Trying to decide if I should get rid of this bush and use this as like storage. There's like a window here, you can't even see anything. Or I could just put shrubs all the way along this. Seymour, right? Exactly. Sure, my dog was just like, wait, what, me? Oh, might need a quick stretch. I'm still thinking about last night's session. I'm reeling from it. So our rogue, after his contact came in, his contact was, let's just say, likes to draw attention to themselves and was kind of, I don't know, over the top to a degree, but it was kind of the point. We were trying to essentially draw so much attention to ourselves in the wrong way that people would ignore us and allow us to traverse across town, like essentially undetected. I don't know. It was weird, but it worked. What was Ant asking for? Yes, I think hiding in plain sight is the best term to say here. Like, I mean, we essentially gave ourselves an opportunity to traverse across the vast portion of this town. While it would have like essentially like it does draw attention to yourselves, it's the kind that people aren't really looking to pay attention to, so they avert their eyes or don't really look at it, you know? You know, that would be amazing. But one thing, unfortunately, with Dungeon Alchemist, when you look at like these doors, right? Every bit of this is handcrafted by our artist team. The textures, all of the, metal, the bolts, all of the, the lighting effects, the emissives, the reflections, right? But it is essentially a very, very brilliant illusion. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with wallpaper, right? So wallpaper, you can put it on the wall or an image on the wall and even a painting, and it'll look completely detailed and beautiful as this flat thing on the wall, right? So essentially, because of every one of these doors is handcrafted and detailed in this way, where it is essentially a brilliant image that is stamped on a very flat, simple object in a 3D space, it's kind of hard to just shift the color. Like, you can't just use a color, a picker, like, the traditional color picker and be like, I want this to be brown, and then it just works. Because it would fill in everything, because all this detail would be lost. So when we offer options like that, say on the crystals or candles, or where you can pick and choose like a specific color, each one of those colors has been handcrafted to that object time and time again. So if there's 10 colors, we had to make 10 variations by hand. Where the hue slider is, really quickly, one second. Bran, I see your question on TikTok, and I'll address it in just a moment. Please bear with me, okay? The hue slider, right? When you see the hue slider on an object, many of our objects offer this, little thing where you can slide the color. What this is it's not a color picker per se. It is literally just a filter. Kind of like on Instagram when you do a color filter and, make yourself look different. I don't know, like a photo filter. That's what is happening here. It is filterizing or shifting the hue of the existing color to give you a handful of more options. Alternatively, there's that dark shift, the light shift, and everything in between. So some objects do offer it, like this, where it's the hue shifting. Others say like a candle. Let's grab one on this table, for instance. Most candles now have like a dozen or so options for colors. You can pick and choose custom colors for the object, which means we actually made this many variations of this object that are custom, you know, texture maps for it. Do a green one. Actually, I like that teal. Now, Nika, I do want to help you with this and make sure that you get what you're looking for. But unfortunately, I don't think the devs will ever offer like a true color picker option where it's like a, you know, you can either use a color dabber and be like, I want it to match this, or pick from a huge assortment of colors and hues, or type in a hex code or anything like that. Like, as much as it would make sense and be amazing, unfortunately, I just don't think it'll ever happen. Yeah, it would be nice, and I think maybe with time, like, it would be nice if they offered, hey, a light one, and you could shift it like you can the colors of this. Maybe with time they'll add more, but for right now, I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. Okay, so question on TikTok. Hey there, love seeing your lives. Has multi-floor maps been implemented yet? No, they have not. It will be implemented in sometime in Q2 of this year. It'll be our next update titled Fun with Objects. Should be coming, you know, relatively, you know, soon. In the next, let's just say, few months. So now that I've got this, I was considering adding another layer of privacy hedges that are the taller ones, so it'll be more blended. Because the first layer was like just too thin when they were tall. Like when you put these like bulb ones on it, right? Jumping on the fence. But if I did something like this, raised it up, it would be kind of like a privacy hedge in between everything. I could kind of put it on the spaces in between. And it just looks like he has an amazing topiary around his yard. Like, it looks really nice. So I know our next update, for instance, they're implementing like a lot of variations of existing objects, like for instance, cheese. We're getting tons of new cheese. We've had like the same 5 cheese wheels for a while. And the next update will add like a bunch of different options for cheese, different styles and looks of cheese. Like, the next update will include variations of a lot of existing things, so it'll be nice. Let's take a quick look at some stuff from our next update. Shrug ASCII. It does look like there was some moldy cheese, or at least something that would like be considered. I mean, isn't cheese just, what is cheese but just varied states of mold? Cheese just gets older, it becomes a different cheese, right? Isn't that how it works? Kind of. Brand, did I answer your question to your satisfaction? Here you can see some multi-level information here. It's a great example of the multi-level update. This is beta footage from the next update, kind of development stuff, testing. But you can shift between floors. You can generate multiple levels stacked on each other. They can have, you know, different configurations on top of each other, or look at like a tower going up, like a skyscraper, as you see here, type situation. Let's see if I can find another video that might elaborate this even more. This one's one of my favorite videos showcasing the next update. And for anyone wondering, exports in the new update will be done a level at a time. So essentially, whatever's visible on this floor will be exported as a single image or video, and then you go down, whatever's visible on that floor will be a new image, new video, and then it creates new scenes. Yeah, the tavern's great. I'm really excited to see how this progresses. I've been itching to play with the new update. It's frustrating because I can't really do anything with it right now. I can't wait for it to come into effect either. It'll be really cool. Hey, Polaris, how are you? Welcome back. Always good to see you. Yep, multi-floor exporting with batch exporting to supplement it, which should make it a lot more streamlined and improved. In fact, here, let me show you kind of a teaser image of the batch exporter. I want to make a video of it, but unfortunately I haven't, like I said, my build is broken. So in the batch exporter menu, here's the traditional menu, right? Turn on the highlighter. Here's the batch export tab. From here, you essentially can create formats. So you can name the format, and then you can set settings for the format. Oh, I want it to be orthographic. I want it to have a grid. I want the grid to be this color. I want it to be 150 DPI. I want it to be morning. And then save it. Export one. I would probably name the settings in it so you know what it is every time. But they'll be in this drop down, like a massive menu of all the export formats you create. And when you click this, it'll show them as like a drop down, right? So when it's all said and done, you essentially could have, say, 20 different variations of a map. One of them's morning, one's noon, one's evening, one's night, one's snow, one is, one is animated, one's not animated, one's for Foundry, one's for Fantasy Grounds, one's for Roll20. Maybe you will make maps professionally, or maybe you're just making them for your own campaign and you need a bunch of variations for, your players. This will allow you to do it all in one simple thing. This should streamline a lot of work for our, especially our Patreon and commission creators. Well, the thing is SAC really helped us kind of come up with a lot of the ideas behind it. We paired with him and a couple of creators in our community to come up with ideas for the batch exporting. So I got his feedback and, and I added in my own insight and paired that with everything I hear from our community as a whole. So it is kind of one of those things where he was definitely very helpful in orchestrating this. But the thing about SAC is he does like one map has 92 exports to it or something like that is what he was telling me. Because he has to, for his Patreon, he does every single variation. Gridded, gridless, hex grid, animated, non-animated, Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, grid and gridded for all of them, snow, day, morning, night. It starts adding up really quick, right? So once you've set all those profiles and save them, you just create your map. You may have to make a couple variations of your map if you have slight differences for like the season stuff, like different objects that are seasonal, like snowmen in the snow, but very subtle changes, and just batch export. It gets overwhelming as a creator, but the point is we want to streamline this for every creator in our community, whether you're just a DM exporting several versions of a map, for your players that they revisit, one that has snow, one that has night, one that has day. What if it's a city they frequent and the things change while they're there? You know what I mean? It's a good idea to have variation, but right now you have to export them one at a time, and it's so drawn out. So this will be a massive quality of life improvement. Yeah, Volcari. It's a great strategy. Where do you think he got it from? I am the cave master. I was one of the first people making caves in our community. This is one of the oldest cave maps available. It's like almost 3 years old. This is before we had a cave biome, before we had the ability to raise and lower objects, before we had train tracks, before you could merge objects together. I had to use every trick in the book to make this work. And I would like put rocks across the edges. This was my first attempt at a cave map, so it's a little scuffed. It's a very old map for me. But look at this railroad here. This is hammers. Hammers. But yeah, when you put these little rocks on the edges, adds a lot of life to the environment. Adds a ton of life to the environment when you add little rocks on the edge, and you can mix and match the patterns of paint. So here I would do the traditional rock mixed with some other rock. So I'd kind of spray in some of this mixed with some of this. Hammer time. It honestly, I lost a bit of my sanity making this map. And then when we released Everything is Lava, our cave update, right? I remastered the map because it was so popular in our community. Because, like, quite literally, no joke, I joined the community. I wasn't even the community manager yet. I was just a streamer interested in Dungeon Alchemist. And I watched, the Discord for a bit, and I asked some I think the first thing I said in our Discord was, hey, is it possible to make a cave map? We looked this up, me and Seisu. Dag responded, he goes, no, it's not possible. And I was just like, okay, challenge accepted. And I made this when it was not possible. And then we added a cave biome later, got more enhanced, better. So that was in an older build where you could have a little bit more verticality in the terrain, Volcari. Unfortunately, there's no longer available with the cave biome. And you do need the blacked out ceiling, to be honest with you. Are you talking about this? This is actually a really important feature that a lot of people underestimate. And let me explain why. But yeah, notice how much less height there is now in the new build. New build looks a lot nicer, but it doesn't go up as high. It was changed when we added the cave biome because you could go much further down, and it's kind of a concession so we could get cave walls. So everywhere you see this kind of black ridge line on the top where it's solid black, that is actually a line of sight wall. So it'll draw a line here and prevent your players from seeing into that area. A lot of people in our community will get irritated with this and they thin it out or taper it, trying to make it look, I guess, better or whatever. But when you do this, right, say, something like that, your players can see through that, technically, even if you don't want them to. So essentially, the point is to block lines of sight here. A lot of times people thin it out so much, they're like, oh, this looks great. But if they want to export, there's no line of sight walls, which means more work for you if you use a virtual tabletop. Or your players might get a spoiler accidentally or something. Anyway, this is the updated version of this map with train tracks. It is stunning. It's an amazing map. I worked really hard on this. I love it. And it's available on the workshop for anyone who wants to use it. So let's get back to... Oop, I'm not saving. What am I doing? I'm just trying to hit open. Let's open my other map. We got about 20 minutes left, so let's capitalize on it. Maybe I can finish the path around the house. My security camera just went off. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh. Okay. It was the trash man. Cool. I was like, what is going on? It just kind of freaked out. I'll probably add them when we get to the end. I just didn't want to add a lot of animated features till the end. So here's the thing, Asmodeus. I put effects typically and animations last because while you're building a map this large, I think order of operations is important. If I start adding stuff like that now, it'll get so lagged out by the time I'm at the end. You don't have this problem, Mr. Supercomputer, quantum computer guy, but I do. No, I'm using some non-stock objects. I've got some mausoleums and stuff that you like uploaded, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I try to avoid them if I can, but honestly, I definitely have used a few non-stock objects in this. Pretty much most everything I've subbed to in here is in this map. Like the statues. Look at all these statues, bro. You definitely uploaded a lot of these. The pavers right here, right? Here's this little nest I put here. There's a coin in it, some eggs. Like, that is definitely that bird, the frog, the turtles, and the fish. All definitely from the workshop. Look at our pizza pond. Pizza pond, TM. Anytime y'all say pizza pond, you owe me a quarter. Is that Sax? I don't. Is there a duck in there? I don't know. Can't remember. I don't know. Not in this one. I think we have some, like a swan or some ducks or something up here. Look at this one. Another pond up here. We got a goose or whatever this is. Let's lower him a little bit more in the water. He looks weird. Huh? Geese or something else. Let's just say that. Got some bees. So far, let's ask everyone here, what's your favorite part of this map so far in the cemetery? If you had to pick a portion that's your favorite, what would it be? Ooh, I like the privacy hedge there. That actually looks a lot better when we do this. Let's do it. Let's continue this. Pizza Pond. Hey, baby. Welcome back. How are you? I really enjoyed your map during... Dam Challenge. It was interesting, and it reminded me of Mad Max for some reason. Thunderdome. By the way, we had an insane amount of entries in this last Dam Challenge. We had 18 entries. I think only one time have we surpassed that with entries. And I think if we get around that many entries going forward, we may have to extend the stream. So I'm not threatening or anything with you with a good time. But the more entries we get, the longer the Dam Challenge stream will have to be to accommodate to showcasing every entry. I will never let an entry not be showcased. So... yeah, so the first map, we gave it 20-30 minutes. The winner gets the first, gets a good chunk of time. Every map after that was between 4 and 6 minutes. I was flying. I felt like I was a QVC presenter or like someone at like an auction house. I was like, oh, look at this map. We got another map and it's sold. And here we got another map from the damn... oh, no. Right? It would be horrible if the streams ran long, wouldn't it? if the streams were instead of 2 hours were 3 or maybe 4. Be awful if we just had to hang out and make maps and for that long, wouldn't it? So this looks like a dope topiary. Buy extra ice cream. Ah, to last you the whole stream. So I'll talk to the devs about extending the stream when we have extra entries, as well as I'm also talking, well, I'm trying to work into my schedule an extra stream every week. So we would actually have, instead of 3 streams per week, it would be 4. Which I am open to, and I've been trying to kind of bounce around my schedule and find the best place for it where it will work. I mentioned it earlier on stream, but I'll mention it again. It's looking like Friday nights for me would be the new stream slot, which would be a great way for our viewers across the pond to participate at a different time, and also our viewers here in the US with me here in the US will be able to have a nighttime slot they can watch on. And I feel like Friday night, like, if you're a no-lifer like me, that's the perfect time to watch a stream. Does this add a good sufficient layer of privacy? Let's check it out with a token. What do you say? I think the verdict is yes. Plus, it looks cool. It's like carefully manicured down to have this shape. Instead of it being multiple bushes, it's like one long hedge that's beautifully manicured. I like it. This property is starting to feel more like it's his, Plus, if he's like really good at maintaining this garden and these beautiful like plots and everything, he probably is really mad good at like gardening in general and trimming hedges. This is just his land, so he makes it look extra awesome, like a personal project. Exactly. Making a whole lot of sense. It's just 100 pennies, Billy. Okay. Let me save, because I haven't in a hot minute. Double save, because I don't trust the first save. The first save isn't the good save. The second save is the one that always works. That's how it is with any game. Right? Can we all agree on that? The first save's trying to trick you. That it's alright. Your hard work is safe. But we were all deceived. For another. Oh my gosh. I am on one today. Ow! Hmm. Looks pretty good. What should I put here? Might be able to fit a planter or something here. We could also just do a blank plot and I could put something in it. That would be fun. Wish this was just a bit long. Could just do a couple square plots, maybe. This would fit close to the center. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with that more. I do want a garden, but I was considering using this space here for it, or maybe this space here. I'm still not sold. Maybe both. This could be an herb garden just right outside the door, because then it's like easy to get at, you know what I mean? I really like the progress on today's stream, though. We got a lot done. Excuse me. Sorry. For some reason. Okay. But I think for today, we're mostly wrapped up with what I wanted to accomplish. Got a lot done, and I'm really happy with the progress I've made on today's stream. Pretty much kind of partitioned his land finally. Got it all private, you know, set up to be his space, away from whatever. I could even go up another layer on this topiary if I wanted to with this buxus. Just kind of raise it a little bit higher and shrink it. It's not quite as big as the top layer. He is not a nefarious caretaker at all. He has no ill intentions. He's never done anything wrong in his life. Never robbed a grave, nor sold bodies to necromancers. He has nothing to hide behind his large topiary. Will's insight. You! And I almost got away with it. Could do a planter like this here. Little things all around his property that like optimize on the space. That would be pretty fun, actually. A few of these little planter boxes. These ones are fun, and they come pre-potted with stuff if you want. And just tab through those. Or you can put them in empty like this. I hardly ever get to use this planter, so I'm gonna do it here. This is good. Yes, the one that was accidentally was bigger, got fixed. Rev, are you okay, bud? Oh my goodness. I did not know that would be such a problem for so many in our community. Let me just say I'm sorry for accidentally resizing it. It'll never happen again, okay? Apology video. I like this one. That one. Here. Okay, I think we got the garden kind of set up. That looks good. Yeah, I resize a lot of things just trying to, on accident, but it's whatever. It was this tile here, I'm pretty sure, and we fixed it. So, on a streaming service I'm using right now called Hulu. I don't know. Some people international aren't familiar with it, but pretty popular in the US or has been for years, whatever. But on Hulu, they have like a whole string of like 90s action movies available right now. And I've been kind of rewatching movies from my childhood, like on binge. And so I watched, The Rock, which nowadays you hear the phrase The Rock, you think Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but The Rock was like this amazingly cool action movie in the 90s. To be honest with you, when I talk to people about it from like Europe, they don't know about Hulu. Never really have heard about it. So I've had a few people tell me they've never heard of it. So I just kind of describe it. Another one that people haven't heard of is Voodoo, which is now actually owned by Fandango or something else, like been bought and changed names a dozen times. But the other day I watched The Rock, which great movie. It's essentially about a reverse prison break. So if you want to watch Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. Yeah, you would think, right? Especially now that it's owned by Disney. Like, I think Hulu was actually more known when streaming services first came out. Because, like, when there was only, like, Netflix and Like Hulu, for the longest time, those were like the only two you could use. And now there's like 20, 40 different ones. Every company has their own. There's a bunch of free ones. They're like all over the place. It's frustrating, to say the least. The good old days. But yeah, Hulu's changed a lot. What else has changed a lot over the years? Like, it's owned by Disney now, and it's like got crazy high price. But anyway, what else do we watch? Oh, Con Air. This is the duality of Nicolas Cage. See, I feel like The Rock is a really good movie. Like, all things considered, a 90s movie that it was pretty good. But Con Air is the opposite end of the spectrum and is just ridiculously over the top and so funny. I laughed at it the entire time. I couldn't keep a straight face. Dwayne "The Rock" the Tooth Fairy Johnson. No. And I know you're just joking with me, and I quite literally explained this a minute ago, so you better not be trolling me. Excuse me. But, it's about Alcatraz. Nice. I remember when Netflix had like a theater mode where on the Xbox where you could get in with your friends in a theater in like with all your avatars and then watch movies together. Like 30 of you could be in and watching a movie together or something as long as you all had Netflix. And then you could voice chat with each other and just chill out, or like 8 of you, I think is what it was. But it was like this weird niche quirk feature. I remember these olden days of streaming. All right, it is past the hour, so it is time to wrap it up. I think we got a reasonable amount of work done today, though. Like, if you look at this, we got this lovely entry path, right? The adjacent path starting to go around the home. And then I'm going to veer another path off this way to go down along these, like, I'm going to fill these up with, like, equipment. Dirt, plants, like, clay pots, pavers, just stuff that he needs to do his job. You know what I mean? You forget Nick Cage was in Con Air because he essentially looked like him and Kid Rock had a love child or something. Hey, thank you, Bella. I appreciate it. It is coming along. It's quite a big map. It's been an endeavor. FGU represent, right? Little shout out to Fantasy Grounds. We got their community manager in chat. So thank you for the support, Bella. I appreciate you. How's things going in your neck of the woods? Hope better. Last we spoke, you were dealing with like hurricane and stuff. Going well. I'm glad to hear it. So this area is the part of the map we've been working on the last couple streams, which is the caretaker's cottage. He is the groundskeeper for this massive cemetery complex that we've been building on stream once a week for the last couple of months. Well, actually about 3-4 months now. So it is getting quite big and expansive. Still quite a bit to go. This huge section here will be a big chunk of paupers' graves and then some more fancy graves in this corner that are like on terraces and raised up and have paths and stairs and stuff. I have it in my mind's eye perfectly, but we're just not there yet. Anyway, when this map's all said and done, it'll be available on the workshop for everyone to download. Oh yeah, congratulations on that, right? Isn't that it's just lifetime for everyone or like an unlimited license for everyone now? I saw that post, commended it on the Blue Sky. Props to y'all. Really amazing there. So it's essentially the one and done. The DMs and players don't need to have their own individual license. So to clarify, basically now Fantasy Grounds, if you buy the one ultimate license, which is now how much? Is it 50 now for ultimate? Then you get 50 US dollars confirmed. That gets you access to a lifetime license of Fantasy Grounds for the ultimate license of Fantasy Grounds, which means all of your players have access to Fantasy Grounds and your maps without purchasing their own copy. So some VTTs, every player needs to have their own. That's no longer the case with Fantasy Grounds. So I commend you guys for doing that. That's a big step. Thank you for doing that. And I'm like, just props. Like, seriously, tip my hat, claps, pats on the back, all around. It's a bold move, but I think it will go off very well, like with your community and future community members. My buddy Mike is a DM, and he loves Fantasy Grounds. He just swears by it. Anytime we're talking about D&D, he'll bring it up. So you definitely have a really like wholesome community. Atlam here, one of our moderators, very, very, very well versed in Fantasy Grounds and is always willing to help. I wish I knew it better. I feel like I only know it a little, enough to get myself in trouble, but I'm getting better at it. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here today on the stream. Looks like it's time to wrap up. We have quite a bit of map done so far, and we're getting more and more progress each week. With each passing week, this map is becoming so amazing. Like, it started off as just this little tiny pond over here, right? And this entryway, and it has evolved into this massive complex. Can't wait to see when it's all done. So thank you for all the feedback, suggestions, ideas as we kind of go through the build. Thank you for sticking with me as we've been building it. We'll be back next Monday with Mapmaker Monday. Until then, this map will be kind of put on the shelf. But we do have 2 streams throughout the week to, keep you busy, keep you satiated, get enough of the dams you need in your life. Hey, where did my pie go? Oh! The pie is gone! There was a pie here. I know there was. Anyway, might have accidentally deleted it. Long story short, if you want to attend our other streams, one of them is on Wednesday. That is actually exclusive to our Discord. It is called Office Hours. We host that every Wednesday. So if you want to participate in that, just make sure you're a member of our Discord so you can tune in. Unfortunately, Discord cannot be included in our multi-streams like we have today, where we're live on 6 different platforms. So they're excluded on all the other streams, so we give them a Discord exclusive stream every Wednesday. You can tune in and get live support, ask questions, have suggestions or feedback. I take diligent notes during the streams and pass it on to our devs. Here, let me find one of my very full note pages, sorry. Like stuff like this, I just take notes, and I pass it on to the devs to share. Additionally, during those streams, they're AMA format, so if you have any questions, you can tune in, ask away, and I will do my best to assist you. So it means ask me anything as long as it's Dungeon Alchemist related. We will do our best to guide you and provide real-time live support. Lastly, the streams are kind of laid back. They're fun. It's a great place to meet like-minded GMs, cartographers, share ideas about your campaigns. We often discuss our own campaigns or our experiences as players, discuss pop culture, all sorts of stuff. It's really just a place to hang out, have fun, get to know our community, and have a space to just, vibe with like-minded GMs. Anyway, I appreciate you all being here. If you want to tune in for that Wednesday, please do. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific. Bunch of info's been dropped in the chat about it by Atlam. Our next stream that'll be a multi-stream is this Saturday. That is the Dam stream. We had the Dam challenge this last Saturday. The next one is the Dam stream. If you want to tune in for that, we'll be showcasing maps and assets from the workshop. So instead of building, we're showcasing community efforts and, giving props to the amazing map builders in our community who share their efforts, whether it's a map or a 3D model. Additionally, we provide support in real time. You can ask questions in AMA format and get guidance, and we show teasers from our upcoming updates. So please, 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 if you're interested, follow those links, RSVP to the events in our Discord. That way you'll get a reminder when we go live and be able to tune into these events and not miss out. Again, thank you so much for everyone that tuned in today. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. I am going to run a quick, just 30-second ad that's Dungeon Alchemist themed, and then we're going to wrap up the stream, okay? Thank you, everyone, for being here.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you all so much. You may have recognized the crew from that commercial. Deer Stalker Pictures, or One for All. Absolutely a hilarious comedy troupe that does amazing skits and videos for D&D and gaming communities as a whole. You should check out their YouTube. That's the second commercial they've done with us so far. We absolutely love working with them. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye.